Hi everyone. With a lot of requests from fellow ARMY, I've been asked to make the black Jack-in-the-Box hat because of J-Hope's upcoming concert, Hope on the Stage. So I made the white one previously, and it's been very well received. So now I'm trying to catch up on all my pattern making, and we're gonna do the black Jack-in-the-Box Hope Edition hat. So now this one is actually a combination of the one that J-Hope wears and the Jester doll wears. So it's a little bit of a hybrid because the one that J-Hope wears, he has two. One that's short, that doesn't have ear flaps, but it has the floppy points. And then one, it's got the floppy points and a the floppy points turn into really long tails down his side. And then the Jester doll has the ear flaps. So anyhow, this is what I came up with, and I think it looks adorable when you wear it. If you're new to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel. If not, follow along. If you like the pattern afterwards, you can always subscribe later. That would be much appreciated. If you're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, any social media, my username is Made by Kana. Just like this YouTube channel. So anyhow, let's get started. The hat is relatively simple and works up quite fast. I'm using worsted weight, medium weight black yarn. I know it might be hard to see in the video, but I'm going to try my best to describe it because I don't really want to make it out of white yarn. Even though you might be able to see it better. So I apologize for that in advance because I know it's a little hard to see. So this is, and I'm using, sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook with the worsted weight yarn. And I will put, last time I put a gauge swatch in the video and I decided the gauge swatch was off. So this time, instead of making it in the video, I'm going to just put the gauge swatch in the description below so that you can, when you're making the piece, or if you want to make a swatch sample, just to make sure that the overall size will work and will fit you. It's a standard size hat, so it should fit everybody the same. I'm going to try to adjust this lighting. It's getting a little bright. It's a really nice sunny day today. Okay, so we're going to do 2 floppy points for the head, for the top of the hat, I mean. So these 2 I already made, and I took it apart just to show you they're identical, and they're essentially 2 little cones. So without further ado, let's get started on that. If you work better following a pattern, I would love if you would support me as a crochet artist. My pattern is on Etsy, made by kana.etsy.com, or on Ravelry, which I actually like better because Ravelry seems to be less finicky. A lot of people have trouble downloading files off of Etsy. Etsy is quite finicky. Like, there's a whole ordeal where when you download a file from Etsy, you have to make sure you're not on the Etsy app, because the Etsy app doesn't let you download files. And like, I think people had to work around it and remove the app from your phone in order to access the website and all that. It's just annoying. Anyways, it's not a problem for everybody, but a lot of people do message me and say, oh, I can't download the file, etc., etc. So it's just troublesome. It can be troublesome. So anyhow, I'm sorry to ramble on. I usually like to get straight to the point with my videos without talking too much. So we're going to start with magic circle and chain 1, and we're going to do 4 half double crochets. So this pattern is made of half double crochets for the entire piece. 2, 3, 4. I adjusted the light. I think this is nicer. It's more, it's better without the shadow. So anyhow, this is 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was the chain 1. We're going to tighten this magic circle. So I like to do a double magic circle. So there's 2 circles. What I do is I pull the tail, and then the one that gets smaller, you tighten that one first. And then when you pull this tail again, it's completely tight. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rounds of 4 double crochet. And instead of working in the round like amigurumis, we're going to join with a slip stitch and a chain 1 at the end of every round. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4. So we join back. Ooh, where did it go? This is the first. So this beginning part, it's a little, I won't say difficult, but a little bit difficult, I guess, because it's so small. If you don't want to start with don't want to start with 4 half double crochets, you can always start with 6 and just skip this initial part. Let me finish counting first. That's 2, 3, and 4. Oopsies. 4. Because it's so small, it's hard to see where each defined stitch is. So there's a wrong side and a right side to work when you crochet. Typically the wrong side is the side where the tail is, the initial tail. But with this pattern, because we're going to be turning after each round, we're working in the round, but we're still turning. So the inside and the outside, the wrong side and the right side will look the same. So it's not essential that you keep track, but it might be useful to keep track so we're working on the same side. So that was 2 rounds of 4 half double crochets. I just want to show you quickly. So that initial part is this pointy part. So when it flops over, it's a little bit of a point. If you don't want to do the 4 and start with a 6, I think 6 is like about here. So then it's a more, how do I say, like a rounded point instead of a pointy point. So it's up to you. So essentially then, instead of doing 6 half double crochets, instead of 4 half double crochets, you do 6 and you go from there. So we did 4. Okay. Move the tail out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So slip stitch to the first half double crochet. I like to do the slip stitch join a little bit tighter. That's the chain 1. Okay, now we're going to, pardon me. We're going to do 3 half double crochets and an increase. So every time you slip stitch, join, and chain 1, the first chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. So you still do the first half double crochet into that first stitch where you did the slip stitch. So that was 2, and we're going to do 3 half double crochets, and then an half double crochet increase in this last stitch. So instead of 4, we now have 5 half double crochets. If you don't want to count like what I'm doing right now, I'm just lazy to go grab my stitch marker, but pardon me. It's easier to keep track if you use a stitch marker. I'm just in another room, so I don't want to go grab my stitch markers. So, or another colored piece of yarn that usually works for me. But I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my 5th one here. Slip stitch to the first half double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch and chain 1. This round we're going to do 5 half double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want the point to be longer, by all means, you can do multiple rounds of 4. Like right now I've done 2 rounds of 4 half double crochets, and I'm going to do 2 rounds of the 5. So this was the 4, this was 4, this was the increase, and this was 5. So we've got this kind of tapered point. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do 3 rounds of each if you want it longer. So you could do 4, 4, 4, and then 5, 5, 5. So we've done a magic circle of 4 half double crochets, a round of 4 half double crochets. This round we did an increase, and then we just did 5 half double crochets. Now I'm going to do a half double crochet in the first stitch. So that's 1, 2, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet increase in the 3rd stitch, and then 2 more half double crochets. So now we're up to 6 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It becomes more pronounced as you have more stitches. So that's 6, chain 1. I'm going to do another round of 6 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and chain, slip stitch, chain 1. So I mentioned earlier the wrong side, right side. So see, the wrong side is inside and the initial beginning tail is on the inside. And I said we're going to turn our work. So we will, but right now, as you kind of saw it, because it's so small, you do not want to turn the work at this point, because the point, pardon my pun, it's play on words, pardon my play on words, it's too small to turn and it's going to get very complicated. So instead of turning, we're going to work in the round without turning. And then we're going to turn later on. So what do you think? Should we continue with another round of 6? Okay, let's do another round of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know it's a little bit, it's almost as if I'm making up the pattern on the spot, but I'm not. I just want to let you know that this initial part is flexible. It all depends on how much of a point you want, how long of a point you want. Okay, so that last row of 6 half double crochets, you could skip that. Won't make a huge difference. So now this round we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a half double crochet increase in the next, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. So repeat that another 2 more times. So basically it's half double crochet increase 3 times around. So that was once. So this is the second repeat. So half double crochet increase. That's 2. Half double crochet increase. That's the 3rd time of the repeat. And then we're going to slip stitch and chain 1. I'm going to do 9 half double crochets now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then slip stitch, join, chain 1. Now we're going to work on the wrong side. So we're facing the inside of the cone. So I just want to make sure you follow along without any kind of confusion. We're going to do a slip stitch, join, and a chain 1, and we're going to turn after every round. So this is the slip stitch join, this is the chain 1. So we always skip these 2 when we turn the work. So this was the chain 1, this was the slip stitch join. So we start our first half double crochet here, not at the slip stitch join. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, and an increase, and then repeat this around, all the way around. So again, 2 half double crochets, 1, 2, and then a half double crochet increase, and then half double crochet, and a half double crochet increase. So I know it's black and it's hard to see, but I'm just going to quickly show you, describe to you this last stitch that we crocheted into, the increase. It's where we chained one, so you can kind of see it's a shared stitch between the chain one and the last half double crochet. So if you see this and you wonder if it's wrong, it is correct, because at the beginning of the round we skipped the slip stitch. So anyhow, just take my word for it. This is what it's supposed to look like. It's this last stitch is shared between the half double crochet and the chain one. So we're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet and chain one. So we're going to turn back to the right side of the work, and we're going to skip those two, 1, 2, and then work in the first half double crochet there, because it's the first half double crochet because it's not the chain one or the slip stitch. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, okay, I just did 11. See how this last stitch looks like it's shared with the first chain one there. So the 12th half double crochet would go right into that stitch. This allows for a nice, so don't slip stitch into the chain one, slip stitch into the first half double crochet. This allows for a nice seam, so you don't see where the seam is. It's really pretty. And then we turn. So last time we did 2 half double crochets and an increase. This time we're going to do 3. So again, skip the first 2, and then we're going to work into the first half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then do an increase. And repeat that another 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, and an increase. And then 1, 2, 3, and an increase. If you count along, like when I crochet, I have to count it, then I never lose track. But definitely use a stitch marker. Yeah. Okay, slip stitch into the first one. So I think we're up to 15 stitches now. So we flip to the right side. We're going to do 15 half double crochets around. 1, 2, 3, oopsies, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Slip stitch, chain 1, 15. So we're going to turn our work and Now we're going to do 3, okay, again, skip the first 2 and then go into the first half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. And then the last set, 1, 2, 3, what? 4, and increase. Okay. And slip stitch join. So now we have, I'm gonna just stuff the tail in there. Now we have 18 stitches to go around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so in case you haven't noticed, it's essentially the same. We're increasing 3 stitches every other round. Last time we did 4 half double crochets and increase. Now we're going to do 5. I'm going to do 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and oopsies, I made a mistake somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. I made 6. It should be 5 and increase. Sorry about that. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, so don't worry if you guys make mistakes. 2, 3, 4, 5. So the best way to know if you've made a mistake is while you're counting and it doesn't add up. Okay, and then that's how I discover my mistakes. If you blindly just crochet without counting, then you're gonna lose count. The counts won't work. Okay, so that was 5 and an increase. So last time we had 18 around, now we have 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Slip stitch join. Okay, so I'm gonna meet you back at the end when we finish the cones. So you're going to do we just did 21 stitches, so next you're going to do 6 half double crochets and an increase for this round. 6 half double crochets increase on this side, then you flip it back around, and then it's going to be 24 half double crochets around, and then you're going to do 7 half double crochets and an increase, and then it's going to be 27 half double crochets, and so on. So I'm just going to write it out here. So this is all the way to this last round is we did on the wrong side, we did 9 half double crochets and an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and an increase. Okay, so we did that 3 times on this last round. Now, so make 2 of those. So the first one you cut, finish off. And then the second one, we join them together. So this is the tricky part. I'm going to try to do this slowly. So see, we worked on the wrong side for that last round with 9 half double crochets and an increase. Normally we would flip back around and it would be 33 half double crochets around. So instead we're gonna join them together. So if you're following along my pattern, I describe it there. Basically, so before we start, I'm just going to describe it to you. We're going to put, so see, this is where we finished off. We're going to put this together like this, and at the center here, we're going to have 2 half double crochets that join the 2 pieces together. So there's 33 around each cone. We're using 2 stitches of the 33 from both sides. Okay, so it's going to be 1 stitch at the beginning of the round and then 1 stitch at the end of the round. It's not making any sense now, I know, like you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but now I'm going to show you so it will make sense. So we're going to go, so this is the first piece, and we put it against the second piece. So the second piece is in the back, the first piece is in the front. And so you know how we slip stitch join So the first piece we slip stitched, but we did not chain one. So we're going to skip this slip stitch and go into the first half double crochet. And then here we did a chain one and a slip stitch, so we're going to go into this first half double crochet here. Oops, it has to be a half double crochet, so you have to yarn over and then go through. So this is our first half double crochet, joining the two pieces together. Now we're going to do, okay, so there's 33 around the whole thing. Minus this first stitch, there should be 32. We're going to do 31 around the whole thing because there's 32 remaining stitches. We're going to go 31 around, and then on the 32nd, we're going to join it at the end of this round. Or in other words, this was the first stitch, first of the 33, so that's 1. And then we're going to do another 31 around, and then we're going to do the last stitch joining. If you don't want to count, that's fine. If you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine. I'll count together with you right now. So that's 1. Now we're going to do 31 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. Okay, so we did 1 half double crochet plus 31. That's 32 in total that we've crocheted. 32 in total. So now, because remember I said there's 33, so this last stitch is 33, and on the 33rd stitch, which is the last stitch of the cone, we're going to stitch them together because I said we're going to do 2 half double crochets to join them together. So on this last stitch of the first cone, we're going to join them together. So this is the last stitch here, and this is the last stitch here. So yarn over, and again, just like when we started, so I don't want you guys to get confused. This is the piece in the front is the first piece that you made. The piece behind is what we just crocheted around. So make sure it's in the back, not the other way. I don't know, the other way wouldn't work. So make sure the piece you're crocheting with is in the back. Yarn over and crochet into both pieces to finish that. So usually at the end of a round we would chain one, or we would slip stitch, sorry, and chain one to the first stitch, but we're not doing that because we're going to continue to go around this one. We're going to continue to go around this one, and do 31, just as we did this one. So we did 31. So we did the first crochet, 31, and the last crochet, half double crochet. Ugh. So we're going to do the same thing, but this time we've already done the 2 joining. So now all we have left is the 31 going all the way around this one. So we were like this. Now you're going to turn it so it's like this, facing the outside, which is the right side. Yarn over and continue on the outside of the second piece and do 31. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. So that was 31 around the second floppy point. Now we're going to slip stitch into the first, and of course, unlike me, you're going to use a stitch marker for that first stitch, whereas I did not. But the first stitch where we joined, so these are the 2 stitches we joined, is this one here. And I just know that because I know it. So we're going to slip stitch into that one. And chain 1. Now, because that first stitch we slip stitched into is on the inside, the 2 on the inside, we're not counting that. So from now on, we are only crocheting. Okay, let me orient it this way. It's kind of like an 8 or an infinity sign. We're going to basically, so we just finished doing this way. We're going to work on the wrong side this way. And we're going to go around 31 around here and continue on like this, flat, on the outside of this figure 8. So 31 and 31 and slip stitch join. And we're going to work this continuously. So we're going to go around 31 and 31, 31 and 31. Well, you'll turn it, so it'll be the other way around. So 31 plus 31, that's 62. Our stitch count is now 62. And we're going to do that 15 times. So where we last left off was here. Let me adjust the lighting. Is this better? Okay. Okay, I'll do this first little bit with you guys. So we've last finished this and we're going to work on the wrong side. So remember we did a slip stitch and a chain 1. So we're going to go into we're going to skip those 2 and go into this one. So this is your first stitch of the latest round. So put the stitch marker there. And this is going to be 31 around this first floppy point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 31. So this is the first floppy point. Now we're going to ignore this middle part and we're going to continue on. This will be the front side of the hat. So another 31. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 30, and 31. Okay, so we've done 31. And then we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch there, which is where you would have had your stitch marker. And chain 1. Before we continue, I just want to make a note here in case, like, this is just an explanation, but normally when we come up to the last stitch, this was our last stitch, we would be at where the chain 1 was, but right now it's a little bit different, so just ignore it, because this chain 1, this slip stitch chain 1 was on the middle part of the join of the two floppy points. So this is the one situation where your last stitch is not in the same stitch as that chain 1, if that makes sense. But as long as you've counted 31 and 31, ignore whatever's going on there and slip stitch into the first. So now you turn the work and you proceed with 31 plus 31 is 62. So you continue this. So that was one round of 62. We want to do a total of 15 rounds. So there's another 14 rounds to go. And same thing, at the end of each round, you slip stitch chain 1 and then skip the chain 1 and slip stitch and do the first half double crochet into the first half double crochet stitch, and do this a total of 15 rounds. And I will meet you back at the end of that because I'm not going to count 15 rounds of 62 stitches if you don't mind. It's pretty straightforward, I think, at this point. But we will meet where it gets a little bit more exciting and we work on the back of the hat and then finish off with the 2 ear flaps. So we are very close to being finished. While I'm still talking, I just want to make a point about these 2 points. I know that in the beginning when I talked about working on the wrong side and right side and the tail being on the outside, this is wrong. I was just fiddling around with my pieces, so these tails should technically be on the inside, and I will use my tapestry needle and I will put it back on the inside. So in case you remembered what I said earlier and I'm like, these initial tails should be on the inside, which is the wrong side, and we're working on the right side right now, that's why, in case anybody was following me and remembering what I said, and I'm like, I'm confusing you because it's not the same. that's what happened with this piece. So enjoy the next 14 rounds as you crochet each round, and make sure you turn your work. I guess I will say, when like the point of turning at the end of each round, there's a reason for that in my design, because well, one, it's pretty. You get this nice alternating texture when you turn the work. Two, this is where we joined the two. So this is going to be, this was the first stitch. This is where the seam is going to go down the back of the hat, back of the head. And when you turn the work, you actually get a very straight seam. So that's kind of a nice little piece of information. When you work in the round continuously and you chain one and you don't turn the work, it will go slanted. But this will become a straight seam at the back of the hat. And third, there's a third reason. That's right. We want to do this so that it's continuous. From the the floppy points all the way down the hat, you won't notice any difference. It's going to keep alternating. And it's a really nice finish, in my opinion, when you don't see where the joins are. I looked at a few other Jester hats, and there's a very distinguished seam where this portion of the hat and the two pointy parts are. And I thought I would improve on that and make it seamless. So by turning after every round, you get this nice seamless finish, which I myself like. And if you have crocheted this far with me and you are now liking the pattern, and you haven't yet subscribed or liked the video, please do subscribe to my channel. If you have any requests for future projects, future tutorials, write them in the comments below. I'm making this because I had done a white version of this hat, and many ARMY out there had requested for the black version of the hat, and so I heard you, and then I'm making the black one right now. So I do read the comments for sure, and I will reply to the comments for sure. So please subscribe, like the video, that would help for sure with my future projects. And also, if you're going to the concert, or your friend, if you're crocheting this for a friend, if you're whoever's going to the concert, please tag me if you're wearing this hat. Oh, I would love to. I have 2 kids and unfortunately I don't get to go anywhere fun unless it's a family trip. Fun as in like by myself with friends or whatever. But my sister's going. She will be going to Hobi's concert. I will not. So I will live vicariously through you guys. If you go to the concert and you're wearing this hat or the white version of the hat, please tag me on social media. Tag me and let me know that you made this hat with my pattern. Show me all the fun you have on Instagram. Post it on your stories or your reels. And I would love to see your work. Love, love, love to see your work. So this is the end. I've been blabbling on. This is the end of the second round of the 62 half double crochet stitches, and I just did a slip stitch chain one. So this is going to be my third round, and again we want to do a total of 15. And rather than rambling on, I'm going to, like I said earlier, meet you at the end of the 15 for more exciting crocheting work with you guys. See you in a bit. Okay, so now we've finished all 15 rows. I can count them with you. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is the 15th row, and if you're counting, we're not. So this was the row right next, right after it. That was the row where we joined. So if you're counting the rows, don't count the one where the two pieces were joined together. Count the next one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Let me see if I need to brighten this up. This is better. Okay. So this is the front side. This is the back side. I don't know if it's obvious, but this is the seam down the back of the head. I've left it, oops, I've left it like this, so I can slip stitch this together. Actually, I won't slip stitch it together yet because I want to show you how to mark out the ear flaps. So, essentially, we're going to leave 22 stitches in the front. We're doing 8 stitches wide for the ear flaps, and then there's going to be a total of 24 stitches at the back. So, if the hat, if we're holding the hat like this and the seam is at the back here, like this, the seam is at the back here. Here's the open seam at the back. We're going to count 12 stitches this way, 12 stitches this way. The ear flaps will be 8 stitches wide, and then the front here will be 22 stitches. So I've used my yarn to mark out these 2 points and these 2 points, so the 4 points. And it's up to you, but what I've done is I've marked the stitch including the 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've marked it here and here. Let me just show you. So I've counted 12. So this is the back seam. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I've put my marker on the next stitch. So it's just a piece of yarn. You can use stitch markers if you want, whatever you want. I always like to use scrap yarn because it's just, I have it everywhere. So then this is the 8. See here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the width of the ear flap. It might look a little bit narrow, but keep in mind that afterwards when we're done, we're going to do another single crochet around the entire frame, around the entire piece. So it will be basically 10 stitches wide. That's how wide it will be once we single crochet around. And then the front of the hat will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Here's another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 12 at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So you can put the hat on at this point and see if you like where the ear flaps are. So there's a bit of flexibility here. If you'd like the ear flaps closer to your face and frame it closer to your face, you can shift the 8 stitches over by the same amount. Yeah, that's entirely up to you. The pattern will change a bit. You'll just have to adjust it accordingly. But again, keep in mind when you're trying it on, wherever these land, when we single crochet a border around the whole thing, there will be one more stitch in the width of the ear flaps. Hope you know what I mean. So now that we have the ear flaps marked out, the left and the right ear flaps, this middle seam you can finish off and cut the yarn, which I've already done, and do a slip stitch here, a very tight one, because we don't want to add an extra stitch. Oops, it has to go in the back. Just slip stitch that close. This was too long of a tail. I don't need that long. Maybe like this. Okay, we can leave this here for now just to know where the seam was. Just make sure to count the 12 and the 12 later. Basically 24 at the back here. We're gonna start, so if this is the back, then this is the front. And the last round we did was working on the right side. So we finished here. So now we want to turn the work and work on the other side. Work on the other side here. So we're sorry, I'm confusing you. Basically, the last round we did was on the right side. Now we're going to flip to the wrong side. So we're going to face the inside of the hat. So this is the front of the hat. So if you're wearing it like this, this is the right ear flap. This is the left ear flap. We're going to start on the front section of the right ear flap, which is right here. So I'm going to just leave this place marker here So just again to make sure we're doing the same orientation, if you have the hat open like this, this is the front, this is the back, remember the seam, and this is the right ear flap. I just don't want to make it confusing for you. So this is where we had the stitch marker for the ear flap. We're going to join it here, join the yarn there with a slip knot and a chain 1, and I'm going to crochet over this tail because I don't want to sew it later. Okay, so we've done a slip knot and a chain 1. We're going to half double crochet into the same stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So just to reiterate, this is the width of the ear flap. This is the 8 stitches. And then we're going to do 24 along the back, because it was 12 and 12, so that's 24. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was the first half of the back. Now we make sure we continue on to the next half double crochet stitch and do another 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I guess I should just quickly mention, if you did 15 and you ended up on the wrong side, then you should start on the right side. So there's no hard rules here, because some people have a shorter forehead, some people have a longer forehead, or you want the hat to sit higher or lower. That 15 is essentially where it will land on your forehead. So if you wanted it lower on your forehead, like let's say all the way to your eyebrows, then you could do more than 15. But if you want it to sit like up at your hairline, if you have a big forehead, you could do less than 15 rows. So try it on, see where it's at. Again, just remember to keep in mind that we're going to finish the edging with a row of single crochet. So then it will add the width of one row of single crochet. So just want to mention that. And no matter if you're on the right side or the wrong side, just make sure you're turning so we continue this pattern of the turned work. If not, you know what, don't stress about it. It could have a different, like one row that's different patterned. It's black, you know. No one will really say, hey, you forgot to turn on this row. So now we're doing 8 half double crochets along the second ear flap. Seven and 8. I'm going to go ahead and leave this in for now. I mean, it's not in my way. I just want to see where that first and last marker is of the 8 stitches. If you have any doubt, you can use this as a stitch marker. Maybe I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn the work. So now we are facing the outside again. And so we did 1 row. We're not working in the round anymore because we're not going all the way around. I'm just going to call this a row now. So we did 1 row. We're going to do a total of 5 rows. And because we started on the wrong side, facing the inside, we're going to end on the wrong side, which is facing the inside. So this is the second row along the back of the hat. And if you use a piece of yarn as a stitch marker, basically you can flip the yarn onto the other side, oopsies, and use that as a stitch marker for your first stitch there. If you know what I mean. You may not know what I mean, but so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we know that this here was the first stitch. In case if you're one of those who crochets and like you're afraid of adding a stitch or skipping a stitch, so now you can make sure there's 8, or you can just keep counting 8, 24 and 8. So we're just going to keep going across the back now. So the middle part has 24 stitches. I'm not going to bother counting anymore because I don't think I'm going to skip any stitches here. It's pretty straightforward. Just a straight row across the back now because we've already crocheted the straight row in the last row over that seam, so there's no more seam now at the back. Just crochet all the way to the other side. Okay, so there should be 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the 24th stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and chain 1. So that was the second row. And then we can flip this over top to count the stitches. To mark the first stitch. And it's pretty straightforward. These 5 rows, we're essentially building the back of the hat because the back of the hat it looks nicer when it's a little longer than the front. Otherwise, the back of the hat will be this like a very short height. What am I trying to say? Basically, the 5 rows will add some length to the back so that it ends close to your neck instead of midway down your head. I'm not counting anymore because we've used those handy dandy stitch markers. If you Google it, this stitch marker, this way of using a scrap piece of yarn is called a running stitch marker. I think they call it that because you're marking the stitches, it's running along your work. I don't know. So here, so if it was unclear before, it's not unclear now. We know this is the last stitch. So then we chain 1. What was that? 3 rows now? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we turn the work. We've already chained 1. We turn the work, and then we flip this tail back over. So what I like about a running stitch marker is you see it as you progress with your work, and then afterwards you just pull out the tail. Very easy. Okay, so I'm going to finish these last 2 rows because this is the 4th row, and then we're going to do a 5th row ending on the wrong side because we're working on the right side, and I'll meet you back there. Okay, so we're just finishing up the last few stitches on the 5th row of the work on the back of the head. And here's our last stitch. Chain 1 and turn our work. So oopsies. So now we have kind of this is the frame around the forehead. This is the frame around the forehead. And then this is going to be our ear flaps. So then we're going to turn our work and face the right side. Now we're finished this back section of the hat, and we're going to we're almost done, guys. It's really exciting because we're down to the ear flaps, and so this part there's also a bit of flexibility in how long you want the ear flaps. As I mentioned before, we're doing 8 stitches wide for the ear flap. At this point, I suppose if you wanted wider ear flaps, you could do 9 stitches. But again, we're going to do 1 row of single crochet along the border, so keep that in mind. If you do want it wider, it will be wider by 1 single crochet row on either side of the flap. I'm going to go ahead and do the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this was chain 1. This is 1 row. And turn, and we're going to do this a total of 48 times, so 48 rows of 8 half double crochets. This is like probably the simplest part. I'm not going to bother with the stitch marker anymore. In fact, I'm going to pull it out. So just pull out the stitch marker. I don't know why I have such a long piece of yarn, but this is this ear flap that we're forming with 8 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just keep going until you've reached 48 rows. I like to, we've done 3 now. Here, let me do 1 more with you. Chain 1, and do another 8. Six, 7, and 8. Chain 1. So I like to count. So half of 48 is what, 24. So 24. Like you see how there's this line here. So 2. This is 2 rows of half double crochet. I'll just call it a section. So you can count 24 sections of these if it's easier to count than the individual rows. Whatever you like. And you don't even have to have 48 rows. You could have 50 rows. You could have it up. You could have it dragging to the floor if you want. But just make sure the reason why you do want to keep count is so that you have even lengths of both ear flaps, unless you want one longer and one shorter, or if you don't care. All entirely up to you. If you have questions about this hat, I mean, you've made it this far, so if you have questions along the way, don't hesitate to write a comment. If you find the video hard to follow, I do have a paid pattern on Etsy and on Ravelry. I will link that in the description of this video. And I mean, I would greatly appreciate any kind of support in that sense, so I can keep making more of these videos. What else? if you don't feel comfortable messaging or writing a comment in the comment section on the video, you can always message me on Facebook. My Facebook is also at Made by Canna, so facebook.com/Made by Canna. If you want to message me there, you can also message me on Instagram. Username is also at Made by Canna. Okay, I'm going to meet you guys at the end of this ear flap, and then I will continue on the video joining the other ear flap with you guys. So I'll see you in a bit. So this is the last row of 48. Last 3 stitches. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I can count this together with you. So, see, this is one section here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, which is the equivalent of 48 rows. So the first flap you can finish off, and then the second flap don't finish off, because we'll use that point. We'll continue to crochet the border or edging around the whole piece. Now we're going to, so this is working on the right side again. And we're going to count 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because we have 8 stitches across the ear flap. Oops. And slip stitch, slip knot, chain 1, and half double crochet. So very straightforward. Do another 24 sections, aka 48 rows, and I will meet you at the end of this second ear flap. Pull this out too. Just working the tail into the work so that I don't have to sew it in later. Chain 1. When you sew in the tails and hide the tails when you're done, typically you want to weave it in to the work back and forth a few times, and that way the tail won't come out. So when I crochet the tail in, I also do the same thing and do it back and forth. So now it's hidden. Okay, last stretch before the border of the hat. Yay! Who's going to the concerts? And where, which concert are you guys going to? Let me know. I can't wait to see you guys wear your hats at the concerts. It's like super exciting. If you guys are on Facebook and you're part of any kind of BTS groups, I would love for you to share your finished work there and tag me at Made by Kana. Or even if you're in some crochet groups and you show off your hat, please tag me. I would love to see it too. Okay, this is our last row of the second ear flap of the 8 half double crochets. Woohoo! Okay, last stitch, chain 1. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to work this way. Okay, chain 1. I'm going to do, we're going to work, so we've chained 1. Now we're going to do 8 single crochets. Ooh, a little bit of change. Single crochet. This is the border. Okay, this is the last stitch here. So we're gonna do an increase at the outer corners. So an increase here, which is 2 single crochets. Then we're gonna single crochet all the way up this ear flap. Once we get to the corner, the inner corner here, this inner corner here, we're going to do a decrease, and then likewise on the other corner a decrease. Gonna go down this ear flap and do an increase at this corner, do another increase at this corner, and then go up the ear flap, do a decrease at this corner, do a decrease at this corner, and go back down the ear flap, and then do, so we chained 1 and did a single crochet here. Do 1 more single crochet there and finish off, and you're done. Yes, done, 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 done. And that's it. So I'm going to do all that. So okay, we single crocheted around, along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. this last stitch here, I'm going to do another single crochet because it's an outside corner, and then proceed with this. So don't worry too much about counting. Don't worry too much about counting the single crochets. Just work along this ear flap edge and look back at it every so often, and if it's straight, it's good. If you've done too many single crochets and it looks a little bit like you've done too many and it's kind of, I don't know, bumpy or curvy or not straight, then just kind of redo it. But it's just eyeballing. There's no hard rules about this part. So I will meet you at the end when we're all done and we can celebrate that we finished this hat together. This hat, it's a super cute hat, and you know what? It's a really fast project you can finish in a day. If you're not a crocheter and you've watched the whole thing up until now, and you want to try crocheting, I highly recommend it. If you've tried crocheting and it's not for you and it just gives you more headache than whatever, message me, and I do sell these hats that I've made by me, by Kana. Let's see here. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to see you at the end of this border edging in a bit. Okay, this is the last few stitches of the entire border of the hat. Woohoo! And second last and last stitch. Woohoo! Pull that out. Finish that off. So now I have a few loose ends to tie up, but here's the hat. When you wear it, it kind of like flops down like this, like a jester. This is the front of the hat. Here are the nice long ear flaps. If you want to just kind of stretch it a little bit so it's flows better, yarn is flexible, so make sure you stretch them both together at the same time, so one isn't longer than the other. And there you have it, our J-Hope Jack in the Box Hope Edition hat. Oh my gosh, we finished. Yay. Thank you for crocheting along with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment below what you liked or didn't like about my video. Hopefully more likes than dislikes. Any kind of encouragement for me to keep making more crochet videos, that would be appreciated. This hat's gonna go to a very special army. Yay, we finished. Woohoo! See you next time. Thanks for crocheting along with me. Bye.